Alright, we are recording, and it looks like I may have gotten very lucky. Hopefully I don't need to get lucky again. Heart rate monitor died on me, but I think it was after I finished recording, because I know I saw it moving at the end. Oh, I forgot to get the music playing, hang on. There. And so continuing the Viscera detail, Unearthly Excavations, and looking it up, I now know what I'm supposed to do concerning the pit. So let me actually go and do that with this one. Supposed to fill it up. There we go. Oh, timer. And I also saw what the code is to get through that gate, and it's a long one. Good, we're making it done. So I assume that it is now filled in, especially since I can walk on it. Okay. Watch that one. Alright, that's true, I got at least one buck here. So probably... You know, say damn it to the footprints and do this. Here's a question, not that I think anyone will see this or bother answering. Was the added CG to the Starlight Pit necessary in Return of the Jedi? See, personally, I didn't really care for it, because, I don't think it was all that necessary, but also just the whole, it didn't look that good. Maybe if it were done today or just done differently then, so it looked better. I do understand the idea to doing it, though. That's the whole... that beacon makes it so much more threatening. That it isn't just things can be thrown into it, but it actually is able to be a threat on its own. This is just the guys that buys it. So those two or three bodies that are there. I mean, it's going back to the whole solid bit adjustment edition stuff, I can understand why somebody would want to do that. But it's still just that whole, it doesn't look that great, it doesn't look that good. But no, I definitely understand the desire to edit something after the fact, especially when it is, technology now makes other things possible. Things that you could not do initially, you now can. Very tempting then to go back and fix anything that you perceive as an error or an omission. But it is also dangerous, because if you do it wrong, do it poorly, then you alienated a lot of people. Oh, that does remind me though, one thing that I can talk about. It's no longer a rumor. EA officially said that they're doing a Dead Space remaster, and it's like, yes! I mean, remastering Dead Space, remaking Dead Space, it's going to be interesting to see how they do. And I say that because the original Dead Space, if you basically take it can't, technically speaking, technologically speaking, be a light touch, because that is going to be a, no, we need to completely remake everything from this. Some stuff you might be able to convert over to work with Frostbite, but a lot of it is going to be you can't actually do that. You need to start from scratch. Damn it. But it still is the fundamentals. Sorry, I just thought to look back to check to make sure the heart rate monitor was going properly. The fundamentals of the game, though, are so solid that just a visual overhaul and some, not necessarily UI, but UX stuff, the PC controls app. It's like touching that stuff up, yes, would be welcome, but it is going to be interesting to see how it is handled. But I do feel like if it is done with the love and respect for what is recognized as a classic game that did help influence the genre, the survival horror genre, that if they can approach it that way, I think it'll turn out fine. But it is also, yes, this is EA, as the publisher, that, also gave us Dead Space 2, which is more action horror, I would say, than survival horror. To me, personally, the differences between Dead Space 1 and 2 are enough to say, yeah, they're technically different subgenres. And Dead Space 3, which is, you don't need to play it? I guess if you're a fan of Dead Space, and you enjoy Dead Space 2, I'm not going to say you got to play Dead Space 3. That's kind of the situation on that one. It's not that it's bad, but it's not really a true Dead Space game. And does actually have some things that, make it bad. It's been a while since I played it, though, but it's... Yeah. I can understand the dislike for it. And agree with at least some of it. Maybe all of it. I don't know. I don't think that the music stopped. I think it's just on a track that's very quiet. But yeah, one thing with Dead Space is... Because I know I talked about this before, I think it would be fun to replay that with ray tracing, and not so much just so that, it's ray tracing. Because I do mod ray tracing. A lot. I think it deserves full. I way too much stock in it. But ignoring that, it's just getting that more, this shadow is a real shadow kind of thing. It's more so just, having a better dynamic range for lighting, I think, would help that game. Or rather, the game would benefit from it. I shouldn't say help it. Because an aspect of Dead Space is how claustrophobic it is. The fact that you are trapped on, yes, a very large ship, but it still is, you are trapped on it. So it is supposed to feel tight. And I do feel like getting proper shadows on it would help. Or proper darkness to the shadow. Well, without necessarily losing detail in it. And for anyone wondering, oh, you're talking about high, HDR, high dynamic range. It's like, no, because you can achieve a lot of that in SDR. But it's just, for me, thinking on Dead Space, I don't remember really seeing in the same image harsh contrast between light and dark. Which I could definitely believe was just at the time, that wasn't the style for games. Today, it more so it. But it is also, you gotta be careful, because you don't want to lose detail, and that's part of where the high dynamic range stuff can come in handy. Is that they can, because there's more blacks you can work with, you can have then more detail within what in SDR would just be black. It seems also true for whites, but I think it stands out better with blacks. Which, boy, would that ever be a problem if somebody decided to sample down that audio. But I mean, it's, like, look at the bloom on that. I don't know how much detail you can really, get by just having access to more white colors, or really just more luminances there. Whereas here, I could see, like, with more in there, you might be able to have like scratches on here that aren't visible currently. That's more so what I mean by having them be at least a little bit lighter. But some of that does also come down to just how the artist decides to color things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I will do when that is approaching, when that comes out. Because there is definitely the part of me that would be like, oh man, I'd love to review that. But it's also I don't know how much luck I'd have with a request with EA. I am on their press list as far as getting emails, but I've not really tried either to get a key from them. But it also being Dead Space, I could be comfortable with just being like, I'll buy it. One thing though I will say that they had better not do. It's like, don't invent DLC. It's like, don't. Make sure that, and it's fine if it's $60 in my opinion. If you want to charge $60 for it, go right ahead. Full price of a new game, but just make sure it's the complete thing. And also, I would say, because I doubt that the visual improvements would be that dramatic, because it's like, some remasters, like the Halo Master Chief Collection, you can swap between old graphics and new graphics in that, right? You don't need to do that for Dead Space. You just give us the upgrade. I can understand with Halo it being interesting because there definitely are some differences there, but I also remember when playing Dead Space for the recordings, it's like, this game actually looks really good. Like, even, it's like, oh, when did that game come out? I think last time I played it may have still been like 10 years after its release. And it's like, there's still a healthy amount of detail in there. I'm saying it would take a lot less to make Dead Space appear modern than some other games. It's like, yeah, you need higher detail models, maybe change up some of the rigging so some movements are a bit smoother. But like textures and just general artistic design, I mean, you got it. You're there. I don't remember when I played it, if I turned on sharpening or not. Like, right now, image sharpening by the drivers, but it's like, it would definitely have been a game. My memory for its appearances, that's all it would be. Yeah, I guess let's continue working up here eventually. Since I now do have a path to basically all the points I need to be, might as well expand out from that. Now, would I like to see a Dead Space 2 remaster? Yeah, I'd be good with that. But I would enjoy it if it were sort of like how the Metro 2033 and Last Light Reduxes were done, in that there's an option in those to play it the different ways. Because 2033 is much more a survival game. It's like you actually need to be concerned about ammo and such, and you do feel more alone. Whereas in Last Light, it is more of an action game. Ammo is not so much a problem, and I did not feel so alone in that. Like needing to depend on myself for my own survival kind of stuff. I just decided to look down. Somebody died. I'll change out the batteries at the next part, I guess. Well, between parts. Hopefully it'll keep going until then. You got about 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't know why. It does seem like it goes through batteries faster than it used to. Hopefully it's not just that it's dying, because I looked it up a couple months ago. This oximeter that was like $25-$30 is now like 50, if you can find it. So yeah, it's... I really need this one to not die. And it is also just hardly the whole, I don't think there's any... Yeah. The whole... They don't make heart rate monitors that much anymore that can be connected and monitored live on a computer. But it's also, I have used different battery brands in it, and some have been better than others. Like Duracell, I think it liked the best, and currently they're Rayovac, I want to say, or Energizer. And I know it seems silly. It's like, how could a brand be different? I don't know, but sometimes a device does seem to actually have a preference, brand preference. It'll work, but it might work better with one or another. And I can remember that from years ago, too. Like, certain cameras. Although sometimes it was just like, make sure you're using alkaline instead of, like, nickel cadmium. Was that another one? Yeah, like, there's certain chemistry to the battery. That was definitely a thing. I don't know if it is so much that's got one more use. not looking forward to when I need to eat today. I never like trying to clean ceilings. It's just so awkward. Would that be it? Mariana? I did know someone, a woman named Marina. That had an extra name. Boy, would body bags be a nice thing. Mainly because of this, and just the whole you can't look down and still hold the body up. Obviously not over here, but I'm hoping to find that code. But here's more to look up. Rather than just, putting in what I read online. I really should watch Bridge over the River Kwai sometime. I was not expecting that. I thought that having the door closed would give me better protection. Wow, I went flying. One thing that will be interesting, going back to talk about the Dead Space is how new players react. Because because I mean, so I have this theory concerning spoilers, like the acceptability of spoilers, and that when a game or anything first comes out, the acceptability of spoilers is low, very low, but then it increases a little bit, okay? Where it becomes more acceptable to have spoilers. I'm just trying to think, what would be... Yeah, I guess that would work, but it is also spoiler. The ending of Bioshock, the twist there. It's like, that's something you would definitely not want to have spoiled for. If you are still freshly, like the game is still new, and you are interested in the game, or even if it's a, potentially, a couple months afterwards, like, yeah, I'll get it, you. Wait, no, I have that a little bit back. But it's my theory is that as some time elapses from the initial release, the acceptability of spoilers increases, where it's like, well, yeah, but I haven't taken the time to play the game, I haven't taken the time to watch the movie, to read the book, whatever. I'm gonna stay far away. Because I don't think that it's starting fire. Yeah. But that effect of it's, the whole, it's acceptable because it's on me that I haven't found out for myself yet, that goes away after a while, where it's like, let's say a few years with the Bioshock spoiler, that, once enough time has passed, where it's like, no, it's no longer acceptable, because you essentially have a new generation then who did not have the opportunity at the time for it to be exposed for them to find out themselves. And they were not part of the group that could have just been I'm just gonna wait a little bit. It's like, no, they're on to new things, so they may not even have a consideration for this initiative. So it will be interesting to see then, basically, that there is a new generation of gamers that have never played Dead Space and aren't going to fully know what to expect, and then will be surprised by multiple things in that. So yeah, I am curious. I'm obviously, none will phase me at this point. Well, some of it could, I guess, depending on how they improve the visual presentation. But story-wise, it's like I do know that story. But it would be interesting to see how some people new to it react. Where'd it go? I'm gonna get rid of this, grab the light, come back. And also, I'll just add, since I was talking about Bioshock, since there were those remasters for it, no, those I don't recommend. Because I looked at the Bioshock one a little bit, and it's like the game, this new version is like 3-4 times the install size, and I could not tell you what the actual impact was. Like, it didn't look any visually better, it didn't run any better. It's like, why should I bother? And I don't think that, they didn't change, like, controls or anything for it either. Because I remember when I reviewed Bioshock 1 and 2, which were years after release, I did make the point that it depends, depends on what you're looking for in a game as far as if you play either. In that, if you're looking for a more modern, or if you're only familiar with modern shooters and that's what you're looking for, that's Bioshock 2 is the better game. The controls in that are so much better, so much more fluid. Bioshock 1, though, is the better, like, story experience. Well, better experience, I guess would be a way to put it. Bioshock 2 is still good. I understand the flack it caught, but it does not deserve as much as some gave it. Like, it is not a bad game, but it is a different type of story than Bioshock. Yeah. So it's like, hopefully, the Dead Space remake will be in a place where it's like, no, this is actually what... I looked down and saw the thing stop. Sorry, that was a itch on my eye. Not so much an itch, I guess, as much as it feels like my eyelashes are crossing. It's not very comfortable. I mean, it's mainly just annoying, but yeah. Oh, I can get more. Hey, it did not split apart. And we only got like 10 minutes left, so should be able to change out the batteries before long. And that I won't bother like putting on the game. I'll just save it and walk off. The game actually doesn't mind being alt-tab that much. Some games do. A lot. Mainly older games, though. Damn, I'm trying to think of what's a good example. I know I've had one game, though, where to alt-tab was crashes. It was... Fortunately, there are things like borderless gaming that will let you basically have the game in the window view, but it will make it borderless for you. I thought I was pushing, but it's like one more, no. That's right. I spent the last part that I was in. So this one. The moment I looked down, I thought it said 96 on the oxygen saturation. It's like, it's not right. It says 98 now. It's like, okay, yeah. Or maybe that is what it said. I just read it wrong. It's like, okay, yeah. It should be at 99. I don't have any blood oxygen problem. Like, there's no reason for it to be lower, I guess is what I really mean to say. Heart rate, yeah, that fluctuates. As I said in the previous part, my lifetime sucks. Like, I don't really have reason to move around too much. It would be nice if my life were different and, like, naturally supported needing to move around, like, because I have to go to the job, but that's not how my life is. It's actually funny. A few weeks ago now, I actually did go for a nice long walk. Like, I think the watch said, because it does track my steps. Like, was it 5 miles, I think it said? And it's like, and I have not walked like that for quite a while. Partly because, you know, you weren't supposed to leave your house for a while. That's, but also just I didn't, you know, really have the time or the need to. But went for that walk, and it was interesting because, yeah, I was already, I hadn't even gone 2 blocks, fully 2 blocks yet. Before I was feeling pain. But I decided, no, I'm gonna keep going. And you just went the whole thing. I didn't even feel sore the next day. It was kind of weird. I was sore during the walk. But it was like just going through it, pushing through it anyway, not really stopping. I actually don't think I stopped once. Felt fine. I was sore at the moment, but it's like, it's not like I woke up the next day and it's like, oh, I can't move my legs. And I've had that feeling before. That is not what happened. Getting some more water. I do not understand why people want to drink something other than water. It works so well and so. And well, I mean, like drinking soda or coffee. I can understand, though, like, going to juices, but it's like, why anything carbonated? I don't... That I don't understand, aside from the whole, you know, with a carbonated beverage, that it's clean. Yeah. Like, that's part of the reason, well, that is the reason why you'll be told if you're gonna go, out of the country, in some cases even out of the state, to, like, just have whatever the soda is that you can get. Or pop, or Coke, depending on whatever you want to call it. It's... You want to do that because you know it's going to be clean. It's not going to have any parasites that you're not used to, but the local populace might. The same is true for somebody visiting wherever you are. And I included Coke in the list of like soda and pop because that is one thing that I do remember being told is that in the United States, Coke is recognized as Coca-Cola, but outside of the United States, you do have places where, no, that's what they call, what we, depending on where you are in the States, call soda or pop. Yeah, the distinction, I don't remember what the line is. But there is actually a geographical line that matches if it is soda or pop. I just don't remember if it's like an east-west thing or a north-south thing or both. Yeah, that is a thing, but it's like if you're at a restaurant in a different country, they might be like, and would you like Coke? It's like, no, I want Pepsi. It's like, no, we have that. We just call it Coke. It's just, you know, one of those cultural differences that it's not that significant, but it does help to know about it. Not that I ever... I have no intention of going to other countries. I just have no need to. It's like, look at where I am. I don't need to. for different experiences. I'm a gamer. Also a storyteller, so it's like I can close my eyes and put myself in a lot of different places. And I will be stopping soon. I've got like 30 seconds or something. I have a path there, so I'm going to turn this in, and that's when I'm stop. Okay, I'm going to stack those up. And also, to be clear, it's not like I don't want. Well, it's not like I would refuse to go and see other countries or something like that. It's just that I don't feel the need to. You know, there are some people that's like, no, they want to explore Europe. They want to climb the Alps. They want to see Rome, Berlin, London. It's like, or Paris. Paris is such a stereotype for it, such a cliche. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I have no interest. It just, I don't need it. I can understand people wanting that, but I'm not one of those people. That's all. And nothing wrong with it one way or the other. There. Save. Alright, so we'll be stopping just in time in the 1812 overture. Wow, yeah, that is... I lost 10 minutes because of things coming up. Alright, well, nothing I can really do about that. Just, I'll go get fresh batteries and hopefully it'll be better. See you then.